Two more teams get one last chance to win their last game of the season in the third place game. Peoria Christian needs to rev up their relentless defense one more time. Quincy Notre Dame tries to repeat their third place finish from 1999.
And welcome to downtown Peoria, the final night of the Class A basketball season. This is the gut check game, the game where two teams try to bounce back from disappointment and win their final game of the regular season. Hello and welcome to Peoria and Carver Arena. I'm Lee Hall. Tonight's ball game for third place between Quincy Notre Dame and Peoria Christian. Two teams trying to win it here tonight. Peoria Christian will take home their first trophy in school history. For the call of tonight's game, let's go to Kurt Pegler and Roger Lowe.
Thank you, Lee, and welcome to championship night here at Carver Arena. Just two more Class A boys basketball games left to play on the state schedule. And Roger, only two teams will leave the Class A season with wins. One will be the state champion tonight, and the other will be the winner of this third place game between Peoria Christian and Quincy Notre Dame.
And both teams have to dig down deep to try to find some energy to get the victory today.
Let's take a look at how these two teams made it to Peoria to be playing for the third place trophy. We'll start with Quincy Notre Dame. The Raiders with a win over Brown County for the sectional championship at Havana, then beat Rock Island Alaman in the Quad City Super Sectional, beat Pana yesterday in the state quarterfinals before losing to Chicago Leo this morning in the state semifinals. The road to Peoria for Peoria Christian included a victory over Spring Valley Hall for the Mendota sectional title, and then they beat Pleasant Plains for the Decatur Super Sectional, took out Massac County in the state quarters yesterday before losing to Winnebago in the state semifinals today. Joe Turwell is one of the best players in the state. He's certainly going to be an all-tournament performer, and he is a key player for Quincy Notre Dame.
All Joe Turwell's done this weekend is score 54 points, led the team in rebounds, first team All-State in the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association.
Meanwhile, Brandon Carlson has had a rough go of it in the state series, at least for Peoria Christian, but really at any point in time he can light it up.
He's done an outstanding job rebounding and assist man. I'm predicting a breakout game offensively for Brandon Carlson.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game. First for Quincy Notre Dame, what exactly do the Raiders have to do, Roger, to win this third place trophy?
Quincy Notre Dame needs to do three things. First of all, 10 toes up. They had to get some rest. They played 3 games in 22 hours. ND3 is what they hope they read on their trophy after today's game and max out. These kids have been playing together since the 5th grade. They've got to give total maximum effort today.
What about for Peoria Christian? What do they have to do to be successful tonight?
Once again, Peoria Christian's got to dig deep. Togetherness. They've won together. They've lost together. This is a team that's very proud. Bronze Beauty, the first trophy in the trophy case of Peoria Christian would be a Bronze Beauty. And again, the pride. This is a very proud basketball team, a very proud school, and it's going to take maximum effort for them to win the game today.
The third place trophy is up for grabs tonight. It's Quincy Notre Dame against Peoria Christian. Stay tuned for Class A Boys Hoops from Carver Arena after these local messages. Inside Carver Arena tonight, we'll crown a new state champion. We'll also have a new third place winner, Quincy Notre Dame at 29-4, ready to take on Peoria Christian at 30-4 for the third place trophy in the Class A boys basketball season, which is wrapping up tonight on this championship night. 2 games for you. This one, and we'll set the table for Chicago Leo to take on Winnebago in the state championship game for the Class A boys. The starting lineups will be introduced here in a minute. We'll have the national anthem. And for the introduction of all the elements ready to go on here in the pregame show, let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association of the City of Peoria, welcome to America's Original March Madness. It's the third place game in the Class A 2004 tournament for boys. The game tonight features the Raiders of Quincy, Notre Dame, a record of 29-4, and Peoria Christian, the Chargers, a record of 30-4. Let's meet the starting lineups. At a forward for Quincy, Notre Dame, a 6'5 senior, 24, Joe Turwell. At a guard for Peoria Christian, a 5'10 senior, 4, Jay Hawkins. Another forward for the Raiders, a 6'4 senior, 32, Luke Greenwell. At a guard for the Chargers, a 6'1 senior, 14, Brandon Carlson. The third forward for Quincy Notre Dame, a 6'4 senior, 50, Ryan Fessler. Another guard for Peoria Christian, a 6' senior, 22, Micah Lavender. At a guard for the Raiders, a 5'10 senior, 4, Johnny Baki. At a guard for the Chargers, a 5'10 senior, 24, Travis Prale. The other guard for Quincy Notre Dame, a 6' senior, 10, T.J. Kistner. And the other guard for Peoria Christian, 6'2 senior, 34, Tyler Griggs. Coaching in his 8th season at Quincy Notre Dame, a record of 186-55, is Scott Douglas. Coaching in his 18th year at Peoria Christian, a record of 331-168, Fred Fox. No other sport in America.
All right, let's take a look again at the starting fives for both these teams playing on the last night possible in the Class A boys basketball season. Turwell, Greenwell, Fessler, who's been really hampered by foul trouble in these two state tournament games. Baki and Kistner for Quincy Notre Dame. Peoria Christian, Hawkins, Carlson, Lavender, Prale, and Griggs. That's been their five all year long. And they'll start the final game of the season for Peoria Christian, looking for its first ever state tournament trophy. Quincy Notre Dame is making its second trip to state as Quincy Notre Dame. 3 previous trips as Quincy Catholic, so 5 overall trips now for this institution at Quincy. A couple of private schools playing for the third place trophy. We mentioned earlier today that 3 of the final 4 teams here in the Class A boys playing in the Final Four, private schools.
It's only happened one other time in the Class A, and you've got 10, once again, senior starters who've played together for a lot of years, and there's nothing like your high school relationships, especially athletically.
Steve Smith from Pittsfield, Roger Grumley from El Dorado, and Eric Brannick from El Dorado. The officials working this third place game, and we're underway. Quincy Notre Dame in its dark uniforms considered the road team. Peoria Christian in the home whites with purple trim considered the home team. And it's the Raiders controlling the opening tip. From the outside, Kistner, his first shot's off the back of the iron, tipped out. It's going to be an over-the-back call, likely on Turwell.
And a nice job by Peoria Christian right off the back, Hurd, of making sure they put a body on somebody.
Here's a map of the schools to tell you where they are in relationship to one another and in relationship in the state. Obviously, Peoria Christian is the host school, so playing right in the hometown. Quincy on the western side of the state, right on the Mississippi River. It took Quincy Notre Dame about 3 hours to get here. It took Peoria Christian about 3 minutes to get to Carver Arena. Tyler Griggs from the outside is no good. So neither team converting on their first offensive possession. Johnny Baki all the way down after getting the defensive board. Nobody picked him up. And now Jay Hawkins brings the ball up into the front court. Ball on the floor. Carlson had it taken out of his hands. It's a turnover. Back comes the Raiders. Fessler tracked down that loose ball. Now it's Baki drawing the double team. Kistner again. Nice pass on the inside. Fessler lost it. Baki. Both these teams are patient offensively, although Peoria Christian is one of those teams that really likes to move the ball up and down the floor. The shot rolls in from the outside for Luke Greenwell.
You will see Quincy Notre Dame, after made baskets or dead balls, typically go into a 1-2-2 ball press, but fall back man-to-man.
In fact, Luke Greenwell, who just scored that basket, is typically the point man on that press. There's Brandon Carlson's first shot.
Carlson has to have a big game offensively, Kurt.
Turwell had the ball stripped. Carlson comes away with it. And back come the Chargers of Peoria Christian. And it's going to be a foul whistled against Luke Greenwell.
I know one of the 10 Commandments is thou shalt not steal, but boy, Peoria Christian sure gets hands on the balls an awful lot.
Here's the tale of the two cities. Notre Dame from Quincy with a population of better than 41,000, and Adams County with an enrollment of 557. They're independent, don't play in a conference. Peoria Christian, 113,000 in this town. And they play in the Tri-County Conference. About 300 students there enrollment. Travis Prale takes the ball to the basket and scores.
Big leg move as Prale went behind his basket, took it strong to the glass.
First points for Peoria Christian. It's a 4-2 Quincy Notre Dame advantage. Griggs is going to be called on the foul that time over the back.
Kurt, this is probably the first time since middle February that these kids are not playing a do or die game. Once the regional started, they knew that one game and they're out. This game should be played with a lot of zeal and a lot of fun.
Now, the third place game is typically a game that shows some teams that certainly have worked their way to get here. There's a nice shot off the basket by Turwell, but you know, the third place game is also a team of fatigue, a game of fatigue, because these guys less than 6 hours ago were playing in the state semifinals. Now Griggs lost the ball, but it goes right to Micah Lavender, who laid it in.
He is so smooth, Kurt. He can take the ball to the hole. He goes up quickly. A tremendous athlete.
Now Lavender made a living by driving the ball to the basket earlier today. Travis Prale is called for the block. He collided with TJ Kistner right in front of Fred Fox in the Chargers bench.
Just a half a step slow there. Peoria Christian did take 5 charges in the afternoon game today.
Scott Lawson and Nate Reynolds check in for Peoria Christian, and Prale and Carlson go to the Chargers bench. We expect to see a lot of substitutions here in this third place game.
Just what I was going to say.
Turnaround shot is short that time by Greenwell. Peoria Christian with a chance to tie the game on this possession. And it's going to be a foul, that time a blocking foul against QND. That'll be whistled against Ryan Fessler. Third team foul now on the Raiders. Fessler fouled out of the state semifinal game, and he was in foul trouble in the quarterfinal game yesterday as well.
Scott Lawson coming up a little bit lame on that left knee.
You see he's got a wrap underneath his uniform there. A lot of bumps and bruises and aches and pains. We saw Tyler Griggs with an ice pack on his elbow after the game earlier today as well. Nate Reynolds the miss. Defensive board cleared by Fessler. We're just underway. We've played 3 minutes of action here at Carver Arena. It's the third place game. Quincy Notre Dame and Peoria Christian with QND up 6-4. Make it 9-4. The three-point shot from the outside. That's by TJ Kistner. Now it's Reynolds. Had a shot rejected, but a foul. It's going to go against Turwell.
This Quincy Notre Dame team, Kurt, has been playing under pressure a lot of the year. They were ranked #1 part of the year. They've been ranked as high as, like I said, 1. Peoria Christian has been kind of under the radar. No one except in the Peoria area knew how good this team was.
Turwell has just picked up his second foul, so likely he'll come to the bench. Sean Emmerich has gone to the scores table. He'll probably check in and replace him, and that's the case. So with 2 quick fouls, Scott Douglas pulls off Turwell.
There goes 54 points from your first 2 games down here in Peoria.
Yeah, 27 points yesterday in the state quarterfinal, 27 points earlier today in the state semifinal.
And you notice the only man in Peoria Christian who's not taken out of the ball game yet is battery man Jay Hawkins. He's still in there.
Nate Reynolds with the made free throw, and Quincy Notre Dame's lead is now 9-6. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And by Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevy dealer today. And by ADCO. You've got to drive one. Quincy Notre Dame, the early 9-6 lead over Peoria Christian. Great crowds here at Carver Arena all weekend long. Certainly Peoria Christian being kind of the home team here in the host city. They have really brought a lot of fans from the community and the surrounding communities around. And Quincy Notre Dame, a long tradition of basketball in Quincy. You know they are always going to bring a big crowd.
It's amazing what 16 and 17-year-old young men and young women can do for a community. And they've united this community and brought them all out in force.
And We've seen some absolutely terrific basketball here in this Class A weekend. Greenwell from the outside. Missed the shot, it's short. Kistner tipping it, got it. Kept it alive. Sean Emmerich did check in for Terwell. From the outside again, it's a missed shot. And finally, it's Peoria Christian that comes away with it. Greenwell missed that outside jumper. Now it's Hawkins off the stutter step. Swing it over to Nate Reynolds from the corner. His shot bounces out. Johnny Bakke back to get it.
Tremendous job fundamentally by Notre Dame of boxing out.
Bakke at 5'10" certainly gets his fair share of rebounds.
And he's an intense competitor, as is number 4. That's like I said, Bakke, intense competitor.
Kistner left open, knocks down a triple. His second one from that corner of the floor.
He hits some triples in baseball. We know he's a Division I prospect in baseball, and that's his triple for basketball.
Yeah, outstanding pitcher and an outfielder. Now Brandon Carlson answers for Peoria Christian.
That's the guy who's going to have to score tonight. I think Carlson's going to have a big night offensively.
Well, he shoots the three-point shot at better than 32% and is the team's #1 three-point threat. Peoria Christian showing a bit of a zone defense here, but on the inside scoring is Emmerich.
Looked like boxing one again to me there.
It's rare that we see that from a team that lives and dies and breathes by the man-to-man.
Right.
Out of bounds turnover. Peoria Christian turns the basketball over.
I'm going to be surprised, Kurt, if we see Terwell for the rest of the quarter. Now, then obviously Coach Douglas will make a decision at that time, but I think this 3 minutes of rest will do Terwell some good. He played 32 minutes in the semifinal game today. Probably just a blessing in disguise for him.
Chris Peters, Andy Terstrip, and Zach Greer all checking in now for the Raiders. Quincy Notre Dame with a 5-point lead, 14-9. We have just under 3 minutes to go here. We've played about 5 minutes in this opening quarter. Here's Jay Hawkins left open, and he knocks down the outside jumper, and that's a 3 from the top of the circle.
I really like Jay Hawkins, you know, defensively, assist man, and anything he can give him offensively is a plus.
Well, he's a Division I soccer recruit. He'll play soccer at Western Illinois University, and he goes up and down the floor. That's a nice lay-in underneath that time as well. Ryan Fessler with a basket. He averages better than 8.5 points a game.
I've seen Notre Dame take some shots without a hand in their face, and I haven't seen that against Peoria Christian opponents in the first 2 games.
Well, I think both of these teams left it on the floor, you know, in the state semifinals today, so they're certainly not playing at 100% as far as their energy level is concerned. Four-point Quincy Notre Dame lead. The Raiders with a basketball. Nice spin move on the inside. Emmerich can't complete the play, though, and it's Brandon Carlson that turns it around for Peoria Christian. Nobody guarding Carlson. He'll try it from the other corner, and he got it. Second 3 in a row now for Brandon Carlson.
You know, and I like the way he came back. The shot before that was an air ball. He comes back with confidence and drains it.
6 points now for Brandon Carlson, the second leading scorer on the Chargers roster. Chris Peters working the baseline. Missed the shot over the back on Sean Emmerich.
And again, tremendous job by Peoria Christian of boxing out, and it was a good call by the official.
There you see Scott Douglas with his palms in the air, wondering about that foul. And there's the team comparisons between Quincy Notre Dame and Peoria Christian. Keep an eye on the rebounding differential. Notre Dame typically has 7 more rebounds per game than does Peoria Christian. And again, we have mentioned it all weekend long. Peoria Christian is the smallest Class A Elite 18 since the 1997 Williams Field team. Tallest player on this Peoria Christian roster is 6'2" Tyler Griggs.
On his tiptoes.
On his tiptoes. With his hair moosed up a little bit.
Yeah, I think they might be measuring by the top of that hair.
Andy Terstrip whistled for that Quincy Notre Dame foul. That's the 6th against the Raiders here in the opening quarter.
He plays like a 6'6" player, though, Kurt. And you've seen him more than I have, but he plays bigger than 6'2".
Well, you really have to with that lineup, and frequently he has to guard, you know, the tallest player on the opposition. Carlson and now feeling it from the outside.
He needed a bust-out game, and he's had an outstanding first quarter.
8 points now for Brandon Carlson. And a whistle away from the basketball on the inside. And that's going to be perhaps against Tyler Griggs again. Now earlier today, in the quarterfinal, or this is actually from yesterday, Peoria Christian beat Massac County 79-65, and Winnebago took out St. Anne in a thrilling game, 62-60. That was the first session. That was back on Friday. But earlier today, both of these teams were beaten in state semifinals, which is why they're playing here in the 3rd place game. Peoria Christian now going to be in the in the bonus here after that foul. So we'll walk down and shoot free throws already here in the first quarter.
As you said, you know, the guys are just a little bit slow right now. Their legs are a little bit heavy. But I think as the momentum builds, I think as the emotion builds, I think as the finality builds, I think that the defenses will pick up.
And so Scott Lawson, we talked about the baseball player that he might be, because he is being really scouted professionally already. That was him at the foul line. He missed the free throw. Both teams trying to get their legs back underneath. The shot is up and in by Zach Greer, who's in the right place at the right time. That's a dangerous play when you're saving the ball underneath your own basket, and it turned out to be 2 points for Quincy Notre Dame. Now Michael Lavender tries to answer from the three-point line, and he doesn't get it. But there to get the rebounds, Lawson, his shot is missed. It's tipped around and finally cleared out by Emmerich. Back comes Notre Dame. Greer almost lost it. Under 20 seconds to go here, opening quarter. From the outside, Chris Peters. His three ball is no good, and Michael Lavender comes down with it.
One shot, I'm sure. 10 seconds to play.
Final possession, first quarter of the third place game. Lavender, pull-up jumper. Short. And that's the end of the quarter with Quincy Notre Dame an 18-17 lead. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Apt in Glenview. And Massey Ferguson, what to depend on. Back with more from Carver Arena after this local break. It's state championship night here at Carver Arena. The Class A boys title to be handed out tonight. Will it be Winnebago? Will it be Chicago Leo? We'll find out. 8:15 tip time. Chicago Leo and Winnebago playing for the 2004 Class A boys state basketball title. And you're going to see it live here on the IHSA television network. That will be a fun basketball game. But we still have 3 quarters to play here in the third place game. Peoria Christian and Quincy Notre Dame to take home the third place trophy.
And Joe Turwell back in the ball game, Kurt, for Quincy Notre Dame.
Well, you called that he would sit out the remainder of the first period, which he did. Carlson's had the hot hand, but he gives it up to Travis Trail from the outside. His shot's no good. Carlson in the offensive glass. 3-point opportunity for Brandon Carlson. The 6'1" senior guard has really lit up a fire here.
Outstanding effort by Carlson. You're going to hope to see this on replay now. Carlson, you're going to see going strong here. And I'll tell you what, this is where weightlifting helps you. He got bumped real hard, was still able to put up on the glass and knocked it home. Carlson's not a big kid, 6'1", maybe 145 pounds, but he finished it off.
Well, he's really struggled in the first 2 games here at Carver Arena as far as getting his shot down. But the young man that averages 14.2 points a game is now all the way up to 11 points here in the opening quarter and 1 minute of this third place game. Foul on Travis Trail, that'll be his second. He got it on the perimeter.
Boy, this Bakke is a tough kid, tough competitor. He's the leader of this team. You can see that.
Our sideline reporter tonight is Lee Hall. Lee, what you got for us?
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Well, these Peoria Christian kids, probably like the Quincy Notre Dame kids, have been playing together since about 5th or 6th grade. We've rounded up a couple of the Peoria Christian coaches from way back when. John Hawkins is Jay Hawkins' father. These guys brought home 2 trophies. 7th and 8th grade, they brought home state trophies. They were a good unit from the get-go, weren't they?
Absolutely. When these kids were in 5th grade, actually 4th grade, we knew what a special group they were, and in 5th grade had the opportunity to coach them, and then we went through 5th through 8th with them. Terry helped along with Les Woodcock in 7th and 8th grade, and these kids didn't lose in 5th and 6th grade, and they only lost I think 3 or 4 games in 7th and 8th, and it was just, we just knew they were a special group, and not just good athletes and good basketball players, but just great kids.
Terry Carlson is Brandon's father. How much has that helped them to be together so long to get here this year?
I think it's been great because playing together, they really know what they're doing out on the court. They see each other pretty well, and just that continuity really helps them a lot. I think even now as seniors, it's been tremendous.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Together in all kinds of weather, the Chargers will take home a state trophy here tonight. They took home a 4th place in 7th grade and a 2nd place in 8th, so they're no strangers to trophy time, guys.
Well, that's right, Lee, and I know this week at practice, everybody in the Peoria Christian roster said the great thing about winning in the sectionals is you have one more week to play basketball. These guys have been playing together since 5th grade, and they're playing their final week of prep basketball together and finishing it up here tonight.
This is going to be hard for both teams because they've played together for so long, and you develop such wonderful relationships, and you know it's going to be all over when they walk off the floor tonight.
Yeah, the Quincy Notre Dame group is the core, have played together since grade school as well. And certainly they'll have some wonderful memories to take away from the 2004 March Madness in Peoria. These two teams playing on the last possible night of the basketball season. One of them to take home the 3rd place trophy, one to take home 4th place. Turnaround jump shot, Joe Turwell.
And all those summer league games and the weightlifting sessions early in the morning, this was the ultimate dream that you would be playing on the final day.
Now Turwell is starting to heat it up. How about Brandon Carlson? That's about a 35-foot shot. Here's Travis Prale, worked his way around to the weak side, missed the basket though, and Channing Peters, who's checked in the game, cleared for Notre Dame. We approach the 6-minute mark left here. Until halftime, we're all tied at 22. Greenwell's guarded by Carlson at the top of the circle. Puts it on the floor, takes it to the basket, and he's going to get to the free throw line.
Boy, it's so nice to see these kids just digging as deep as they possibly can to play good defense. Both teams are doing it. They're struggling with their energy, but the 100% effort is there.
And so to the free throw line goes Luke Greenwell, 6'4", 165-pound senior. Scored 8 points against Pana in the quarterfinal game last night. He missed 9 games earlier this year due to an ankle injury, but show really no ill effects from that right now.
No, not at all.
Nate Reynolds and Cody Geyer have checked in now for Peoria Christian. Greenwell's 2nd free throw is good. And QND is now up 24-22, under 6 minutes to go here until halftime.
And this is what's referred to as a ball press now, 1-2-2 ball press.
Peoria Christian does a nice job of breaking that pressure.
I've seen 2 different variations of that 1-2-2 ball press so far here, Kurt.
Now it's Reynolds. Quick catch and fire.
And if any of you young viewers are watching at home, he had his feet squared, his shoulders squared. The ball's going to have a good chance to go in when you do that.
Reynolds with 3 points, 24 all is our score now. Here's Bakke, that incredible competitor, as his coach calls him. Greenwell driving the lane and scoring.
Nice play, but a better pass.
And Luke Greenwell showing some athleticism on that play. He has 6 points. Now he's given his team a 2-point advantage. Back and forth we go. Cody Geyer. I thought maybe they were going to call a violation, but it's going to be a foul. Let's see who they whistle at against on QND. Is that Turwelp, his 3rd? It is.
Sure is.
Well, Joe Turwelp has now picked up his 3rd foul.
And that'll be the last you'll see of him, I would bet, Kurt, in the first half.
Well, that young man who's had such a great state tournament, strapped with foul trouble here in what will be his last prep basketball game, and he'll have to go to Scott Douglas's bench now with 3 fouls.
Boy, did you watch him walking to the bench there? It looked like about a mile for him to get there. He's tired.
Yeah. But as we said, 54 points in the first 2 games here at Peoria. 27 in the quarterfinal, 27 in the semifinal.
He's put him on his shoulder,
yeah,
that's for sure.
So you take all those points off the floor, put him on the bench with the 3 fouls. Nice pass down low. There's Peters, but he drew the foul.
Yeah, beautiful pass by Emmerich there. Nice high-low look.
We haven't seen a whole lot of the high-low the high-low game here because these teams have been up and down the floor in these last 2 days.
That's right, but as you said, the high-low is a weapon now that coaches are using more and more.
Channing Peters at the free throw line. He is a cousin to Chris Peters, who's on the team, and a distant cousin to Johnny Bakke. So there's some family blood on this Quincy Notre Dame roster.
Those family reunion basketball games over the summer, I bet are a battle.
Can you imagine the basketball in that driveway? Under 5 minutes to go here till halftime now. 1 point Quincy Notre Dame lead. Third place game between QND and Peoria Christian, and we're glad you're alongside here on the IHSA television network. Micah Lavender's pull-up jumper is no good. Luke Greenwell high up to get the board for the Raiders. Crossover dribble now. He's going to take it himself. Off the glass, can't get it. Tipped out. Now it's Jay Hawkins. He's like a little rabbit out there. He goes right by Bakke. Nice pass to Reynolds, who hangs and fires and missed the shot. Lavender tipped it in.
With the left hand, too. Boy, that was an outstanding tip in. Left-handed tip.
Micah Lavender now has given his team a 28-27 lead. He has 4 points. Now Bakke tries to answer. Partially blocked from behind. Lavender got a piece of it. Somehow Jay Hawkins, falling out of bounds, got the ball up to Carlson. Now in the front court, it's Geyer. Gives it up to Carlson. Under 4 minutes to go now till halftime. Lavender lost the ball. Greenwell tipped it. Bakke got it back to Greenwell now. He kicked it. Ball out of bounds to who? It's going to go to Peoria Christian. Officials timeout on the floor. 3:40 to go till halftime. Peoria Christian with a 1 point lead. More from Carver Arena after this network break.
And welcome back to Carver Arena. Quincy Notre Dame trailing Peoria Christian by 1. We just spoke to some of the Peoria Christian coaches from the grade school days. This is Tom Vandevoort. You had this group in 5th grade, and tell me what happened, because you didn't let them go.
No, I had coached 5th grade for a few years, and then when I got these guys in 5th grade, I decided I want to stay with them. I kept them for 4 years, and I've been with them ever since.
You got pretty close to some of these guys. Did you have any idea that they'd get this far? They'd have this kind of a chance that they had this kind of talent to bring something home like this?
I mean, you never want to think that far ahead, back in 5th grade. But I know back in 7th grade, we were, the parents, good friends of mine, and we all started talking, this could be a pretty exciting team when they get to high school. And then they've been very successful since they've been here. And then this year, I spent a lot of time with them in the summer, going to camps and stuff. And they took it home, and we really thought all year that this could be the team, and here they are.
Another one of the guys, the secrets to the success of the Quincy Notre Dame Irish. Tom, thanks a lot. All right, back to you, Kirk.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, these guys, their roots go deep. They play together, like we said, grade school, junior high school, freshman team JV, varsity level, and wrapping up their careers at Carver Arena tonight. Ball out of bounds. It's going to go back to Quincy Notre Dame.
And Kurt, it's wonderful when parents take that time to it's voluntary. It's all because they love the kids and love the game and give the time to these kids. And, the success for Quincy Notre Dame doesn't start with Scott Douglas, nor does it start with Fred Fox for Peoria Christian. It starts way back like these men were talking about.
That's right. Point well taken. And you know that from experience as a former high school coach, that those feeder systems and those underclassmen coaches work just as hard as the varsity guys, don't they?
Very valuable.
Johnny Bakke from the outside knocks that jumper down. QND back up by a point now, 29-28. Here's Lavender on the baseline. He drew contact and a foul. We'll get some free throws out of it because we're in the bonus now.
One thing we were talking about at the break, this has been a very clean game. Only 7 total turnovers so far. And, when you think about an up-and-down game and the type of game that we're seeing here, you'd think maybe more turnovers.
You see that stat about Peoria Christian opening up as a grade school in 1950. This is only Peoria Christian's 6th year as an IHSA school. Prior to that, they played in what was called the Association of Christian Schools International all the way up until 1998. They had to play regional games in Wisconsin and Iowa and all over the place, and it's only been the last 6 years that they've been an IHSA school eligible for the state tournament.
Watch Lavender take the ball to the right side there, then bring it back to the center. I've never seen that before.
Free throw rims out, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to go to Quincy Notre Dame. We're under 3 minutes to go here in the third place game. Kurt Pegler and Roger Lowe with you. Our sideline reporter is Lee Hall. Jim Albrecht and Matt Taphorn will call tonight's state championship game between Chicago Leo and Winnebago. We're expecting tip time in about an hour and 10 minutes at 8:15. Nice low block move by Sean Emmerich. He's got a couple of baskets down in the paint. Emmerich in the game because Terwelp's in foul trouble. Brandon Carlson has gone a little bit cold after knocking down a couple of triples. Good thing about Carlson is he's not afraid to shoot it. He's, you know, 4 of 9. He's already put it up 9 times. His confidence has not been shaken. Peoria Christian staying in its man-to-man. Chris Peters missed the shot, and it's Jay Hawkins that brings it down for the Chargers. Boy, he's going to take it until somebody stops him. Now it's Geyer spinning in the paint, hanging, firing, and it's going to be a walk, travel violation.
Now I'm going to suggest to both the Peoria Christian and Quincy Notre Dame teams that they set 2 alarm clocks Monday morning, because I think they'll sleep through that very first one. They've expended so much energy, and to get up for school Monday morning could be a challenge.
And we hope that the principals wouldn't, you know, mind it too much if they were a little late for class, right?
Well, I wouldn't
this weekend.
I wouldn't bet on that.
I know that. That's the case. They'll all be in class on Monday morning and on time. From the outside, it's Bakke the miss. Offensive board and fadeaway jumper by Channing Peters.
He shot that flat on his feet, but had enough strength to put it over the rim.
Now Hawkins brings it down. Bounce pass to Prale. His reverse layup is blocked. He drew the foul.
Once again, Hawkins made that play on penetration. Got it inside. The Quincy Notre Dame back part of the defense stepped up, and Prale is going to get 2 shots for Hawkins' effort.
I tell you, both of these teams are really playing with a lot of heart. It'd be real easy to mail this one in, say, boy, it's the 3rd place game, and we're dead tired from the semifinal games. But both these teams are up and down the floor, Roger.
And you and I both know that that would have happened. We watched both these teams play, and we knew that they do play with a lot of energy and a lot of heart.
Scott Douglas now sends in Adam Turstrip as Prale's at the free throw line for Peoria Christian.
Let's see if Peoria Christian might go to some kind of a pressure trap here if the ball goes in. Let's anticipate that happening.
And we see a little man pressure, it looks like, with Prale, and he's going to pick up his 3rd foul.
Hawkins was ready to come up and trap him there, but we just got our feet tangled.
Zach Greer got his feet tangled up, indeed, with Travis Prale, and Prale's picked up his 3rd foul. And so Zach Greer goes to the free throw line. It's 1-1. We'll see Nate Reynolds come in and take out Travis Prale. Fred Fox makes that substitution because Prale now has 3 fouls with 93 seconds to go here in the opening half.
I don't think Scott Lawson is playing totally healthy right now. I think he's maybe got a little bit of a stomach virus, but he's not coming out of that ball game. Believe me, he's playing. And
he's got a knee wrap on. He's got an ankle wrap on. But and this is his last opportunity to play this year with this group. He's a junior. He'll be back next year. But you know, when you get this great senior class, he doesn't want to leave the floor.
Well, I wouldn't either.
Free throws made that time by Zach Greer, and it's a 35-30 Quincy Notre Dame lead. The 5-point advantage is the biggest of the game. There's Lawson. He's going to rocket fire it. Can't get it. Back comes Quincy Notre Dame now. Greer in the front court. 3-ball up. Missed that time by Turstrip, but it's a foul on the rebound.
It's been so nice that we haven't really been looking at the rebounding chart or the shooting chart so much yet. We're just watching a bunch of kids playing with their hearts, and it's just been fun watching this type of game.
Well, certainly there's a different level of intensity, if you would, for the 3rd place game. Make no doubt about it. Both of these teams want to bring home the best possible trophy they can get, which would be 3rd place. But I agree with you. We're seeing some free substitutions. We're seeing a different kind of flow that we saw earlier in the state semifinals.
And I bet you if Quincy Notre Dame and Peoria Christian played miniature golf, they'd both be playing to win.
Channing Peters at the foul line. He splits the free throws. He's given Quincy Notre Dame some nice minutes off the bench. It's a 6-point lead for the Raiders with a minute to go now here at the first half. There's Carlson. Almost lost the dribble. It's out to Michael Lavender. I don't think Lavender's really had a rest here tonight. It seems like he's always on the floor. Missed shot. Back comes Quincy Notre Dame now. They find a way to win. The Raiders do. They were tested in the sectional final game in Havana against Brown County. They let a 17-point lead slip away. They were tested in the Quad Cities Super Sectional against Rock Island Alleman. Won both of those games. Beat a very good Pana team yesterday. And it took an effort, a solid effort by Chicago Leo in the semifinals to knock them into this 3rd place game.
And as I said, Kurt, they've had kind of a target on their back since about Christmas time.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to give them their best shot.
State ranked all year long. Quincy Notre Dame is 4th in the final AP poll, and Peoria Christian 10th in the final poll. So a couple of state-ranked teams playing here tonight for the third-place trophy. Under a half a minute to go here in this second quarter. We may see the Raiders hold for one here. Ten seconds now and counting. It's Bakke with the basketball. He's the one that QND wants it. In his hands. He hangs, he fires from the free throw line, missed the shot, tipped out, and that is going to end the quarter unless Brandon Carlson can get it off, and he can't. He tried, but he couldn't get it off before the horn. And Quincy Notre Dame has a 6-point lead after the first 16 minutes of action. 36-30 is our halftime score. Good first half for both sides, and Scott Douglas, the head coach of the Raiders, is standing by with our Lee Hall.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Well, Turwell got in early foul trouble, but still you go to the locker room with a 6-point lead.
Yeah, I think we're fortunate. We do have some foul trouble. Our big guys are all in foul trouble. So, you know, fortunately we made it out of the half with, you know, a couple of them only having 2 fouls. And we were actually able to extend the lead. Channing Peters came in and did a great job for us. And, you know, again, I think this is a scrappy bunch from Peoria Christian. So we'll have our work cut out for us the second half. This is a game where you really have to test your bench, isn't it? It is. And you know, we went to it often. And, you know, hopefully that'll pay off for us down the stretch when it gets tight. All right, Coach. Thanks. Good luck to you. Thank you. All right. Back to you, Kurt.
Thank you, Lee. 36-30. Scott Douglas and his Quincy Notre Dame Raiders have a 6-point lead at halftime here at Carver Arena. Back with more from Peoria after this network break.
You know, insurance can be confusing for most people if they've never had an opportunity to sit down and have it explained to them.
I'm a very good explainer. I explain everything in layman's terms because that's the way I understand things.
I want to make sure my customers understand exactly what they're buying.
We just need to take a little bit of time and explain it to them.
No gimmicks, no frills. I tell you how it is.
You have to really break it down so they can understand.
We have to make sure that our clients know that we can provide real answers.
This is my country.
And let them know there are no stupid questions.
The Daily Herald covers the big picture with a uniquely local focus. Take our award-winning sports section. Readers turn to the Daily Herald for the authoritative word on sports from preps to pros. Inject the provocative voices of Barry Rosner and Mike Imram, plus the Dean of High School columnist Bob Frisk. And you can understand why the Daily Herald offers Chicagoland's premier sports package. So whether you're looking to read about the pros or the preps, turn to the Daily Herald. The Daily Herald. Big picture, local focus.
I was just going to say my toss. And welcome back to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. 36-30 our halftime score. Quincy Notre Dame with the lead over Peoria Christian. One of the great events here that you don't see when you're here in the arena is the March Madness experience. It's at the exhibit hall here at the Peoria Civic Center, just across the way here. A lot of great activities for kids and kids of all ages, really, to go over and enjoy. One of the things that happens over there, there's a center court, and grade school kids from around the area ride in, essays about sportsmanship, and they get to play full court games over there in the March Madness experience. For the first time this year, wheelchair basketball is being played over there. It is an exciting sport. Never before has a high school association, a state association in the United States, awarded a state championship. That's an historic evening tonight because the first one was awarded tonight. A team from Rockford playing a team from Chicago. We spoke with a couple of the Chicago players at halftime of their game earlier tonight. And we're with a couple of the Windy City Warriors, Matt and Mark Cerletti, twins, playing for the Chicago Windy City Warriors. You guys might be one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, we're ranked #2 in the country going into nationals in Philadelphia in a couple of weeks.
How long have you been playing wheelchair basketball?
I've been playing for 6 years.
And have you been in the chair your entire life, or is this something new?
I was born with cerebral palsy. I'm able to walk, but long distances, I need to use a wheelchair because I fatigue fast.
Tell me what this does for you, being out here and participating in this.
This is great. This is really opening up the sport to a lot of eyes. Wheelchair basketball has always been a huge sport, and now people are starting to realize that.
Mark, it's enjoyable to come out here and watch you guys play and to see what you're able to do.
Yes, thank you. We're just happy to get it recognized for everybody here.
Tell me about the strategy involved. I mean, you watch games on TV with able-bodied basketball. Tell me about the differences and what kind of strategies you use that might be different than what we see in an able-bodied game.
Strategy-wise, it's kind of the same, but then again, it's a lot different because you gotta make sure you do everything right and then don't overdo it. Basically the same rules, except it's a lot harder because you have to push and make sure you dribble all at the same time.
Yeah, it looks pretty tough. It looks like it gets pretty physical in there with the chairs too.
Yes, very physical.
Tell me what it means to you to be. It was really great to talk to those young men, and amazingly enough, the strategy for wheelchair basketball, there's a lot of the same thing. They run man-to-man, they run zone defenses. It's really amazing to see what they're able to do in their chairs, and they've also gathered a couple of more teams for next year. 6 teams participating this year. They expect 8 next year. A team just was gathered for this tournament this year, so we can expect to see more wheelchair basketball as a part of March Madness. We are at halftime of our third place game. Back with more after this network break.
In your business, nothing's easy, but there's a name on a new tractor that you should check out. Massey Ferguson 6400 series. 6 models from 95 to 155 PTO horsepower that look good and work hard. Powerful, efficient engines, advanced hydraulics, one of the best transmissions in the industry, and a cab that rewards you with comfort and control. It's time you took the easy way out. See the MF 6400 tractor at your Massey Ferguson dealer.
Halftime of the third place game here in Peoria. Quincy, Notre Dame 36 and Peoria Christian 30. Kurt Pegler and Roger Lowe with you here in Peoria. A couple of teams really showing their heart in playing for a third place trophy just 6 or so hours after leaving it on the floor in the semifinal games earlier today.
On the back of the Peoria Christian warm-ups, Kurt, is the words dig deep, and both teams are doing that in the first half.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's take a look at some of those halftime statistics that we can share with you from the first half. Again, a 6-point lead for the Raiders. They have 5 more field goals than Peoria Christian, and they have 3 fewer free throws. They're about the same at the 3-point line. 3 more rebounds, and look at the assist differential, though. 5 more assists for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's the only statistic on the first page that really jumps out at me.
Both teams have done a nice job really hanging on the basketball. You pointed that out because of the fatigue factor.
3 turnovers by Quincy Notre Dame is outstanding, and Peoria Christian's 5 number is a good one, too.
Quincy in a little bit of foul trouble with Turwelp with 3 fouls. One stat that's not on there is the bench scoring, which favors the Raiders 12-5. As far as the leading scorers are concerned, Kistner, Turwelp, and Greenwell, each with 6 for Quincy Notre Dame. Brandon Carlson leads all scores of Peoria Christian. He has 11, and Travis Prale has 5. Again, the bench scoring 12-5 in favor of the Raiders. That's a 7-point differential. It's a 6-point game. We said the bench was going to be a factor here tonight.
They're going to have to be, Kurt, because of the fatigue factor, like you said. Again, I think Carlson's going to have an outstanding second half Peoria Christian, and Turwelp, if he can stay out of foul trouble, will do the same.
6-point Quincy Notre Dame lead. More from Carver Arena in the Class A boys basketball third place game after these local messages.
And we are back at Carver Arena, just about ready to get started here in the second half. 36-30, the Quincy Notre Dame lead. Fred Fox of Peoria Christian coach is with us, and he's telling me, I'm tired of being interviewed second today. It's happened to you twice now. You guys proved to be a good comeback team in sectionals your last 4 games before coming down to Peoria. You need another one here tonight, Coach.
Yeah, well, we have sucked it up in the second half, so hopefully we'll do the same thing here. We're holding our own on the glass. I think it's 18-15, so we need to get a little help in the post when it gets down in there, see if we can't dig it out a little bit. And offensively, I think we need to get more assisted baskets. We're kind of working the perimeter. We need to get some inside out and hopefully get more assisted baskets. So.
Your guys' motto this year has been dig deep. After playing 2 games in the last 24 hours and playing your 3rd one now here, you got to dig even deeper.
Yeah, they have it. They have it. They'll find it.
Good luck, Coach. All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Kurt.
In your business, nothing's easy, but there's a name on a new tractor that you should check out. Massey Ferguson 6400 series. 6 models from 95 to 155 PTO horsepower that look good and work hard. Powerful, efficient engines, advanced hydraulics, one of the best transmissions in the industry, and a cab that rewards you with comfort and control. It's time you took the easy way out. See the MF 6400 tractor at your Massey Ferguson dealer.
Thanks to our friends over at the JMP Radio Group across the street. They're hosting this camera that's bringing you this live shot of the activity outside Carver Arena. It's high atop the 12th story of the Jefferson Building, right across Jefferson Street here in downtown Peoria. Good look there at Carver Arena as the fans are filing in for the 8:15 tip time for the Class A Boys Basketball Championship game tonight between Chicago Leo and Winnebago. Here we're ready to start the 3rd period of action in our 3rd place game. Quincy Notre Dame leading Peoria Christian 36-30. Kurt Pegler, Roger Lowe with you. Our sideline reporter is Lee Hall. And we're glad to bring you the pictures and the sounds and the sights of Class A basketball here in Peoria. It's been a wonderful weekend, and it's been a great cap to a great year of Class A basketball in the state of Illinois.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to look at on both teams, 2 key players for each team had 3 fouls. For Quincy Notre Dame is Joe Turwell, and for Peoria Christian is Tyler Griggs. Both those guys need to be able to stay in the game, if they can, for 16 minutes.
Yeah, Travis Prail also has 3 fouls for Peoria Christian, so 2 of their 5 starters with 3 fouls. We're underway to start the 3rd quarter. Again, Peoria Christian in the home white uniforms, and Quincy Notre Dame in their road navy blue uniforms with the gold trim. On the baseline, here's Prail. His first shot of the 3rd quarter rims out. Ball on the floor, and it's controlled by Turwell. Again, he's playing with 3 fouls. Now on the other end, Fessler, pull-up jumper. No good. And there to get it is Bakke. We mentioned that he's just 5'10", but boy, can he rebound from the guard position.
He sure can. There's a little bit of confusion that time by Peoria Christian on whose man was who.
How about that defensive play? Luke Greenwell just swats that ball right out of the air. Just underway here, 3rd quarter. Scott Douglas has his Quincy Notre Dame Raiders looking for their 30th win of the season, which would tie a school record for most wins in a season. The 1957 club, coached by Gene Rundy, went 30-4 on the way to a 4th place state finish. And so a win tonight would be a 3rd place state finish and 30 wins for Quincy Notre Dame, which would equal their school high as far as victories in a season. Greenwell. Boy, I tell you what, Quincy Notre Dame did a nice job in tracking that loose ball down, giving a great assist there to Turwell.
I was just going to say the same thing. You know, the basket's made by someone else, but Turwell set that up.
Now Brandon Carlson from the outside. He can't get the basket to open up for him. Carlson with 11 points in the opening half, the game's leading scorer. And we've got a foul against Peoria Christian now on the other end of the floor.
And that's 4 on Prail, I believe.
Let's see. No, Jay Hawkins, the guilty party there. And that's just his first, and it's the first team foul against Peoria Christian here in this second half. Now the Peoria Christian Chargers average 13 steals a game, and so when you've got those quick hands that come up with that, you're going to pick up a lot of those fouls. Splitting those free throws is Johnny Bakke.
I'm glad those young coaches didn't use the old axiom, don't reach, to these Peoria Christian kids, because their hands are part of their best part of their defense.
Well, as we've mentioned, numerous times. They have such a small roster with their tallest player being 6'2". They've had to defend people with quickness and with good positioning and with their quick hands. 11-point lead for Quincy Notre Dame. It's the largest of the game. Spinning and turning and scoring that time is Ryan Fessler.
Boy, this is a fundamentally well-coached team.
And Fred Fox wants timeout. He doesn't like the way this third quarter has started for his Peoria Christian Chargers. Both of these teams taking 4 losses into this game, and ironically, both teams lost to a team from outside the state. Keystone High School from LaGrange, Ohio, beat both of these teams in the State Farm Holiday Classic in Bloomington Normal in December. Let's take a look at those last 2 baskets.
Once again, inside presence there. Nice move in there by Fessler for Quincy Notre Dame. They're strong inside, and again, very fundamentally sound. And there again, Fessler, a little baseline move toward, and that's a tough shot. Turning to his left, and nothing but the bottom of the net.
Just to complete my thought on the seasons that both of these teams have had, Quincy Notre Dame's 4 losses. 1 was against that team from out of state from LaGrange, Ohio. Pleasant Plains, Normal U-High, and then earlier today, Chicago Leo. Meanwhile, the team from out of state, Keystone High School from LaGrange, also beat Peoria Christian, Mount Pulaski, Eureka, and then Winnebago today. So, you know, when you can roll up 30 wins and only have 4 losses, or in the case of Notre Dame, 29 wins and only 4 losses, boy, you put together a nice season.
And that's the who's who of Illinois high school basketball, some of those names you said.
Chicago Leo and Winnebago coming up next for the Class A Boys Basketball Championship. Don't go anywhere. Jim Albrecht and Matt Taphorn will have the call of the game, slated for an 8:15 tee time here from Carver Arena. They'll tee it up, and those guys will go at it. That'll be a fun basketball game. 6:10 to go here, third quarter. It's Quincy Notre Dame 43 and Peoria Christian 30, a 13-point Raiders advantage for third place in the state. Griggs gives it up to Carlson now. Tries to set a screen for him, but Carlson goes to the left side. Now Griggs again. Motion offense here for Peoria Christian. It's Prale. Kick it to the corner. Hawkins kicks it out now. Lavender. He finds an open Brandon Carlson from the baseline. They move the basketball around, and that extra pass was the key play.
Well, I tell you, the teamwork for Peoria Christian is fun to watch.
Brandon Carlson now with 14 points on 3 of 9 shooting from the three-point arc. He is the game's leading scorer.
There's a little bit more pep in the step, too, of the Christian team defensively after that timeout.
That was a good timeout by Fred Fox.
They are doing that digging deep right now. You can just tell it.
Quincy Notre Dame doing the high-low thing, and it's Turwell scoring off the nice feed that time.
I don't want to beat
Greenwell.
Yeah, I don't want to beat a drum here, but boy, I tell you what, their inside players are so well coached.
Now Carlson trying to make something happen for Peoria Christian. Griggs, pull up 15-footers, good. Tyler Griggs now with 4 points. It's a 10-point lead for Quincy Notre Dame. We've got some substitutions that'll come in the next dead ball for the Chargers. Bakke from the outside knocks down a triple. It's his 33rd three-point shot of the season. Back to a 13-point lead for Quincy Notre Dame. Off the missed shot, it's Bakke, like a track meet. Nice pass that time. He found Ryan Fessler on the left side and kicked the ball to him.
That was a textbook 3-on-2 fast break. The defender from Peoria Christian came up and stopped the ball, and a nice job by Bakke by getting the ball to the open man. We're going to get to see that play again here. 3-on-2 fast break. Watch how Bakke comes up here. The defender steps up, Lavender does, and then a nice pass to number 50, Fessler, for 2 free throws.
Well, Fessler, who had foul trouble again yesterday in the quarterfinal game and fouled out of the semifinal game, has really played well in this game against Peoria Christian.
That point guard reads the up man, Kurt, what he has to do. He reads the up man. As soon as the up man comes up and takes the ball, then you've got a 2-on-1 fast break.
And on that fast break, you always want to keep the ball in the middle, right? And that player has to make a decision by the free throw line to get rid of it or to take it to the basket. Officials timeout on the floor with 4:34 to go here in the third quarter. We remind you that this IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And by Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevy dealer today. And by ADCO. You've got to drive one.
People are busy with families and careers. They don't want to spend a lot of extra time taking care of their insurance needs.
My mom never puts me on hold, and my mom never says, can I just call you right back? I have something else that I need to do.
When you call us, you don't have to wait around. You're going to talk to a real person.
Right off the bat. Claims happen quickly because at 2 o'clock in the morning, when they have a pipe break, they want you there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
This is my country.
If I say I'm going to call you back, that doesn't mean next Tuesday.
Chevy Cavalier. With more standard horsepower than Focus, Civic, or Corolla. Check out Cavalier through March 31st and leave your checkbook at home. Qualified lessees can lease a Cavalier Coupe for around $178 a month with zero due at signing. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees extra exclude special value package. Residency restrictions apply. Call for lease details. Chevy Cavalier. Turn the key. Start a revolution. See your local Chevy dealer today.
And we're back at Carver Arena. The Peoria Christian team is down 15, but the fans don't appear to care. And I'll tell you guys, we've been covering this team here in Peoria all season long. And it's been my dream to hold Frosty. He's a crowd surfer. He's a party animal. He never fails to show up. The hot weather doesn't bother him. Frosty is a gamer, and so are the Peoria Christian fans. Back to you.
Well, if Lee Hall makes it out of that mosh pit with all of his fingers and toes, rings on his finger, boy, that'll be something else.
I'm looking forward to going back to school Monday now. Looking at that.
Great fan support for both these teams, and the student section for Peoria Christian has certainly livened up things here at Carver Arena. Another block shot by Luke Greenwell. He's really been active defensively for Quincy Notre Dame.
Here comes your Peoria Christian trap, too. We saw a little bit earlier in the first half.
Now the Raiders do a nice job of splitting that up. Bakke left open, three-point right side, good. So Johnny Bakke with a pair of triples here in the third quarter. He now has 13. He's the first Raider in double figures. Quincy Notre Dame shot just 36% from the floor in the second half of their game against Leo in the semifinal, which was one of the reasons why they couldn't get out of that semifinal game, but they're torching it at 53% here tonight. And it's several different players that have the hot hand, not just one guy. Here's Tyler Griggs now for Peoria Christian. His shot rims out. Ball's on the floor. Bakke scrums it out. We approach the 3-minute mark left here, third quarter. Fessler, cut off on the baseline. Out now to Kistner. He's got the hot hand. He hits a three.
Oh my, who do you cover? Kurt, who do you cover? The entire team is taking good shots and making them.
Notre Dame 5 3-pointers here tonight. Now Lavender tries to answer with the free ball himself. He can't get it. The long rebound is corralled by Lawson. Offensive board for Peoria Christian. Here's Reynolds. Floater in the lane is good. And Peoria Christian needed something to kind of get back on the board. Back in transition. Quincy Notre Dame had a shot and a miss, and it's going to be an over-the-back call against the Raiders.
And that's their first foul of the quarter. They played an almost perfect quarter.
That was going to be against Luke Greenwell, who's really played well here tonight. And now we're seeing some substitutions as Zach Greer comes in. And let's see who else is coming in. Johnny Bordewick is also coming in now for Quincy Notre Dame.
As we talked about, if they distribute the ball like they have been, and you have to cover 4 or even 5 guys, it makes playing defense very difficult.
Yeah, it's been very difficult for Peoria Christian to find somebody to defend. Everybody out there's been shooting it in.
Nice move by Nate Reynolds.
Yeah, he's got a couple of nice baskets here in this third quarter. Trying to keep the Chargers in this game. They trail at 56-39. As you've mentioned, Roger, it's been almost a perfect third quarter for the Raiders. They've showed so much patience offensively, but it's Griggs that comes away with a steal now.
And a nice job of bringing it back out.
The second steal of the game now for Peoria Christian. Lawson wanted to shoot it, but he lost control of the ball. Now takes it to the basket and scores. Scott Lawson with a wrap on his knee and a wrap on his ankle, showing no ill effects there, working the baseline and scoring.
That's where the Chargers need their fans. They're making a little run at them here.
First 2 points for Lawson, and now a charge. Cody Geyer takes that one. And Peoria Christian took 5 charges earlier today in the state semifinal game, so this is kind of their MO, if you will.
That's right, and they've run 5 points on them now, and the old man momentum could be on their side again. This thing is long from over. This is a big possession here for the Chargers.
Well, there's just too much time left in this game to be thinking that this game is anywhere near over. Hawkins for 3 from the outside. Can't get it. Geyer tries to chase it down in the corner, but he runs out of real estate.
I wish I'd kept a stat starting on Friday how many hustle rebounds. And when I say hustle rebounds, the one that bounced 2 or 3 times on the floor that Peoria Christian gets. They get more than their share.
Travis Prail, playing with 3 fouls, has re-entered the game now for Peoria Christian. It's 56-41, a 15-point Quincy Notre Dame lead. It was a 6-point halftime lead for the Raiders at 36-30. So they've had a 20-point third quarter with still better than a minute left on the clock here in this third period. Turwell, nice reverse layup with the left hand.
Well, that was smooth. Protected himself with his left hand and banked it in.
Turwell in double figures now. He has 10. He averages 11.6 on the season. What a fine player he is, and he scored 54 points in the first 2 games of the state tournament coming in. From the outside, Nate Reynolds now has the hot hand for Peoria Christian. That's a 2, not a 3. Zach Greer bringing the ball up the floor now for the Raiders.
You see Peoria Christian be a little bit more daring with trapping defense.
Notre Dame trying to use that height advantage in a high-low game. Now a 3 from the outside is missed. That was Bordwick. Back comes Reynolds. He's had a great third quarter, and he's going to get to the free throw line. He's really given Peoria Christian a little energy here.
He sure has. And Nate Reynolds and Scott Hosser are going to be the leaders of this ball club next year. They're getting a lot of minutes, critical minutes, in the biggest stage in the state.
Reynolds is to the foul line where he shoots it at 61%. And now we're seeing Brandon Carlson and Michael Lavender re-enter the game for Peoria Christian. And Ryan Fessler is going to come back in for the Raiders. And we're also going to see Chris Peters re-enter the game.
Turwell has played the entire quarter without committing a foul.
Andy Turstrip is also re-entering the game now for Notre Dame, and he'll send Johnny Bakke to the bench probably for the remainder of the third quarter, get Bakke off his feet for these remaining 34 seconds, and also take advantage of the quarter change as well.
Only 11 total turnovers in this game too, Kurt.
That's amazing. When you think about the third place game, a lot of times can get ragged, and both these teams are fatigued after semifinal games, but they have really taken good care of the basketball. They've played well. Travis Prail does come away with the steal there, though. And he's fouled from behind. A reach-in foul that time. Zach Greer, the guilty party.
Out of bounds, Peoria Christian.
That's the 3rd foul now on Greer, and the 4th team foul on the Raiders. 24.1 seconds to go here, this in the third quarter. Prail to trigger. Looking for help, gets the ball into Reynolds. Now Reynolds driving to the paint, floating. Missed the short shot, though. Cleared by Turstrip, but he had it stripped from him, and then he drew a foul. You have to watch those quick hands of the Peoria Christian guards, don't you?
Well, I tell you what, Prail just took it right away from him. We're going to see it here on the replay. Look at that. Takes it right away from him, gets fouled, pushed from behind. I'm telling you what, it's almost like there are octopuses out there. There's hands everywhere.
Travis Prail with 11 points in the quarterfinal victory over Massac County. 9 points earlier today in the semifinal loss to Winnebago.
I always chuckle when people say that's a sloppy shot that he just made. It's a perfect shot because it's a soft shot. It hit the front of the rim and went in. Shooters get those rolls.
And didn't touch the rim on the second free throw. 6 points now for Prail in this game. Notre Dame breaks the press. And the lob down low. Nicely done to Sean Emmerich. Chris Peters with the lob.
Very athletic move.
4 seconds and counting here. Final seconds, third quarter. Brandon Carlson, last shot of the quarter is short, and that's the end of 3. 3 quarters in the books, and Quincy Notre Dame with a 13-point lead at 60-47. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Apt in Glenview. And by Massey Ferguson. What to depend on. Back with more from Peoria after this local break. The IHSA Television Network crew would like to thank everyone over at 3 Fat Guys Pizza in East Peoria. The crew's been enjoying pizza and sandwiches, a lot of other items from the 3 Fat Guys menu. Dine in, carry out, or deliveries. 3 Fat Guys is a tasty choice. Give them a call, 309-698-9333, or visit their dining room at 2250 East Washington Street in East Peoria. 3 Fat Guys Pizza.
After this weekend, it might be 4, the amount of pizza I've eaten here.
Well, someone else may have been sampling some of the 3 Fat Guys Pizza. But he's just actually resting his eyes for the championship game tonight at 8:15. Turnover now. Peoria Christian's going to get the basketball back.
Well, each possession is important now for the Chargers, and they've made a little run at them. See what happens here.
13-point deficit that Michael Lavender and the boys are trying to cut into, and Lavender does. There's a 3-ball. It's a 10-point game.
Good start if you're a Charger fan.
And we said this game was far from over, and it seems like the Chargers have come out here in the 4th quarter a little bit energized. Turwell. Quincy Notre Dame again showing some nice spacing on the floor here. Trying to get it inside to Turwell, and it's Tyler Griggs who played great weak side help defense there.
You're exactly right. Tremendous post defense.
And off the steal, it's Hawkins. Now it's Carlson. His 3-ball is missed, but Griggs is there for the offensive board. Now it's Lavender. He missed the 3. Carlson, another rebound. Bounce pass to Lavender. Can't finish. Tipped in by Griggs.
I think Coach Douglas needs a timeout, and he's going to get it.
3 offensive rebounds on that set for Peoria Christian. And the bench is pumped up, as are the Peoria Christian fans. Re-energizing the Chargers here. Look at this last sequence, Roger.
Shot falls short here, but if you watch here, tremendous job of boxing out, and then a beautiful pass into Lavender. Nice tip then, followed in by Griggs.
Here's another look from the up cam. They never gave up on the play, even when it looked like Lavender could finish, and he didn't. It was Griggs that followed it with the tip in.
And Griggs proves you don't have to be a big boy to be a good rebounder.
Well, Griggs actually started that entire play with a steal on the defensive end, as you said, with terrific post defense, and kept the whole offensive sequence alive with an offensive board.
Before that play even occurred, there was a shot from the left corner that came long, and Griggs had his man sealed out, was able to chase the ball to the following sideline.
Well, it's the first trip to state for those fans of Peoria Christian. They'll bring home their first ever state basketball trophy, and they have been a wild bunch, to say the least. They've really enjoyed coming here to Peoria. They're only about 3 miles away, so they had the shortest commute, but boy, it seems like they brought the most fans and the most vocal fans. They've just really enjoyed these last 2 days in Peoria.
Well, I'm sure Coach Douglas has got his team's attention right now. That was a pretty intense conversation he gave to his kids, and they know that there's 7 minutes left in a very important game.
Well, after we mentioned a near picture-perfect 3rd quarter for Quincy Notre Dame, they had a 6-point halftime lead and then built that in the 3rd quarter, but now find themselves really in a dogfight because it seems like the sleeping giant that we know as Peoria Christian has awakened.
Lavender's playing a little bit of center field here on the defense.
They show full court pressure, and Notre Dame breaks it. Luke Greenwell in the front court. Now it's Bakke, short turnaround, big basket that time. The Raiders stemming that tide.
Nice job of breaking the press.
Bakke now with 15 points. He averages 14. He's the leading scorer, so he's leading his team very well here in this 3rd place game. And it's going to be a foul on Travis Prale in the backcourt. That'll be his 4th.
I don't think they're going to make a move. With the momentum going in their direction, I think they need to try to keep their best players on the floor.
Well, I think at this point, Fred Fox is in agreement with you, Roger, because he's keeping him on the floor.
Yeah, you got to leave your best players out there.
Micah Lavender is going to be whistled for the foul in the backcourt. And so now the fouls are starting to pile up for Peoria Christian. That's team foul number 4 for the Chargers. Boy, Johnny Bakke is just quite a competitor. He's going to have the ball in his hands, you know that. He was the one that scored that last basket for Quincy Notre Dame to kind of take some of that momentum away from Peoria Christian. The Raiders really needed to get a ball in the hoop, and it was Bakke that got it. Now it's Turwell kniving in, changed his shot up and under.
That's 4 straight points since the timeout. Also, Quincy Notre Dame now has regained a little bit of the momentum.
So the Raiders have taken that punch by Peoria Christian and have countered themselves. Carlson misses the 3. Ball is chased in the corner and out of bounds.
One thing Peoria Christian does very well is they know where the ball is going to be coming off on long shots. They seal their men off, and they can chase a long rebound that way.
There's that turnover story. Quincy Notre Dame with 6 and Peoria Christian with, QND with 9 and Peoria Christian with 6. And really, amazingly, those are low totals for the third-place game in the fourth quarter with two really fatigued teams. They've done a great job of taking care of the basketball. Kistner brings the ball up the floor now. He's being pressured by the Peoria Christian ball pressure. Quincy Notre Dame fans are on their feet now, giving support to their team. Under 6 minutes to go here in this third-place game. Here's Greenwell being guarded now by Reynolds. Now it's Fessler, stripped by Micah Lavender. Lavender ahead to Reynolds. He has just Bakke to beat, but he finds Lavender, who travels. Lavender was trailing the play, but he just couldn't get his pivot foot down.
Yeah, I think Nate Reynolds might have had a better shot, but you know, he's trying to be a team player. Give the ball to Lavender. Lavender, I don't think was expecting it.
I don't think he was either. And it's going to be an offensive foul in the backcourt against Quincy Notre Dame. Luke Greenwell. Greenwell called for the foul.
Now Notre Dame will play man-to-man out of bounds, which is a sign of a guy who really believes in man-to-man defense, as Coach Douglas does. It's your best defense, stay with it. When I used to coach, I used to say if I spend 5% of my time playing zone in practice, I'm only going to be 95% as good as we could be defensively.
Well, it seems like most of these Class A coaches that we've seen this weekend have really been man-to-man coaches, through and through. Geyer in trouble, stripped away from him. Quick hands by Ryan Fessler, just took it right out of Cody Geyer's mitts. Now the Raiders just trying to protect this lead and protect the basketball. Unsuccessfully there, though. Jay Hawkins with the steal. And now the Western Illinois soccer recruit takes it all the way down. Missed the shot. The follow was missed by Lavender. And back to get it is Fessler, and he's fouled. Nate Reynolds on the reach-in.
Well, you got to take advantage of those, but both shots got up there, just didn't go in.
Second personal now on Nate Reynolds. And that's the 5th foul here. Team foul against Peoria Christian. 5:11 to go here. Third place game. Quincy Notre Dame 64, Peoria Christian 52. Kurt Peglin and Roger Lowe with you. Lee Hall's our sideline reporter. 8:15 tip time for the boys Class A state championship game. Chicago, Leo, and Winnebago. Stay tuned for that one. Turwell, short shot off the glass and in.
Boy, he's a good player. You can see why he's in the top 10 scoring in the history of Quincy Notre Dame.
That's right. He will finish his career in the top 10. He went over the 1,000-point mark in his career in Tuesday's super sectional victory in the Quad Cities. Reynolds lost the ball out of his hands. Turwell with the steal. Now it's Bakke. They have numbers if they want them. And it's going to be Fessler getting to the free throw line.
Well, Quincy Notre Dame has run 6 points on him now since that timeout.
Scott Lawson has whistled for the foul, his second. And it's the 6th team foul against Peoria Christian. So Fessler, who's a 71% free thrower, good foul shooter to the free throw line.
We've been talking about turnovers being low the entire game. They're starting to mount up a little bit now. Notre Dame has 12 and Peoria Christian 9. Especially with Peoria Christian trying to make a comeback.
Brandon Carlson in and Jay Hawkins out now for Peoria Christian. Second free throw is good. 4:31 to go here, fourth quarter. Quincy Notre Dame with a 67-52 lead. Back with more from Carver Arena after this network break. .431 to go here, fourth quarter of the third place Class A boys basketball game. Quincy Notre Dame leading 67-52. Here's our foul trouble. You see that Travis Prale of Peoria Christian has 4. Griggs has 3, his teammate. Turwell, Greenwell, and Greer all for QND with 3 fouls apiece.
And Turwell got those 3 fouls very early.
Yeah, he's been without a foul here in the second half. Here's Michael Lavender from the outside. His 3 is no good. Bakke back to get the defensive board now for the Raiders. And a reach-in foul. It's either going to be Reynolds or Lavender here.
And Peoria Christian now has 2 opponents, Kurt. They've got Quincy Notre Dame and they've got the clock.
And that is Nate Reynolds' 3rd foul. 7th team foul for Peoria Christian. 1 in bonus now for Quincy Notre Dame. We'll be seeing a lot of free throws here now in the remaining 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, I'm just looking around at this crowd here, Kurt. What a spectacle we've got here in the Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament. It just doesn't get any better than this. I was fortunate enough to be involved in 2 NCAA tournaments. It doesn't come close to comparing to this.
Fessler makes the free throws, and now it's Lawson who's going to get to the free throw line. Yeah, I think there's some similarities, obviously, with the NCAA tournament. You're just at the mercy of the brackets and where you're sent in the regional sites, and you might be playing, 3 time zones away from home, and so you can't necessarily have your fans here. But boy, when you get the state basketball tournament here in the middle of the state, you've got fans from all over the state coming to see this thing.
And whether people want to admit this or not, college basketball is a business. It's played for high stakes, and each game's a lot of money in the tournament. This game's just for love, and that's what I love about this game right here.
Scott Lawson playing basketball for the love of the game, too. He's a terrific baseball player and likely will have a career in baseball, but a part of this Peoria Christian State Elite 8 team. And 1-and-1 time now for Quincy Notre Dame as Michael Lavender has just picked up his 3rd foul. Travis Prail, Tyler Griggs, Jay Hawkins all re-entering the game now for Peoria Christian. And again, Prail has 4 fouls. 4:03 to go here in regulation. It's a 16-point Quincy Notre Dame lead.
Fessler, 71% free throw shooter on the year, 5 for 6 today, as you see on the graphic.
Well, one of the knocks on Quincy Notre Dame around the state was, they may not be a great free throw shooting team, but they have made their free throws.
They sure have today.
And they did it yesterday against Pena. And now Scott Douglas's team is going to be living and dying at the foul line here in the final 4 minutes of this basketball game. As a team, QND shoots it at 61%. Now Travis Prail has just picked up his 5th foul, and he's headed to the bench for the final time. His Peoria Christian basketball career over, but he has had a terrific career. And he's got some great memories from a great weekend here for Peoria Christian.
Well, I'll tell you what, these players coming back next year for Peoria Christian, as well as Notre Dame, have some 18 triple E's to fill.
Now this Peoria Christian squad, of which Travis Prail is a member, won its first ever sectional title, its first ever super sectional title, its first ever trip to state. So they're the pioneering bunch in the history of Peoria Christian School. As we mentioned, just a 6-year member of the IHSA. So they're trying to forge their own kind of tradition here. Quincy Notre Dame, of course, a great school with regards to tradition. Great basketball played on the west side of the state there on the Mississippi River in that town of Quincy. Hawkins now with the basketball for Peoria Christian. Under 4 minutes to go here. Nearly turned it over, chased to the corner. Now it's Tyler Griggs in traffic and scoring off the glass.
Nice shot, as you said, off the glass. That's the best angle he had there.
69-55, the Quincy Notre Dame lead. Griggs now with 8 points. It's Greenwell. He handles the ball well. He's not necessarily a point forward, but he doesn't mind handling the basketball out on the perimeter. Turwell can't get that shot to go, and it's Michael Lavender that brings it down for Peoria Christian.
Griggs has come up a little bit lame here for the Chargers.
Lavender, outside 3 is good. Michael Lavender now in double figures. He has 10 points. And a turnover as Cody Geyer comes away with it for Peoria Christian. And now Jay Hawkins puts the pedal to the metal. From the corner, another 3. It's Lawson, and it's good, and Fred Fox calls timeout.
Watch out.
2:59 to go here, 4th quarter. Don't go anyplace. It's an 8-point game. Quincy Notre Dame 69, Peoria Christian 61. Back with more from the 3rd place game after this network break. (69-61), Quincy Notre Dame with an 8-point lead in the 4th quarter here, the 3rd place game. A note for our Chicago viewers: in order to bring you the IHSA tournament, Ballykiss Angel won't be seen tonight. It will return March 27th to its regular Saturday time. Meanwhile, you can watch Ballykiss Angel on Wednesday nights at 9 on Wise TV WYCC in Chicago. Under 3 minutes to go here in this 3rd place game. 69-61, Quincy Notre Dame, the lead and the basketball. What a nice pass that time. Luke Greenwell found Ryan Fessler, who laid it in.
It's almost routine that after a timeout, Quincy Notre Dame gets some type of good baskets. It's well coached.
Map out things terrifically in the huddle. Now Lavender, pump fakes. Carlson, he's got the quick trigger, but he gives it up. It's Geyer on the outside. Now Lavender. 2:30 and counting. Lavender takes it to the basket like he did so well in the semifinal game. Michael Lavender now with 12 points. And back and getting the foul is Scott Lawson. I don't know if Fred Fox agreed with that. Lawson has now picked up his 3rd foul.
Just when you think you've knocked out Peoria Christian, they get up off the canvas, don't they? Every single time.
And so now it's double bonus time. 2 free throws now coming for Quincy Notre Dame's Luke Greenwell. Boy, I think he's just played a terrific game. We mentioned that he missed 9 games earlier this season with an ankle injury, but he's 1 foul shot here away from being in double figures. He missed it. He's got 9 points. Ball's out of bounds, and it's 2. How do you like this, Notre Dame?
That's a good call. He was off Lavender. That's a correct call. Once again, I think the officiating has just been outstanding down here.
Oh, I agree. It's been very good. Nicely done off the inbounds pass. Turwell scores off the glass. 16 points now for Turwell. He had 27 points in each of the first 2 games here at Carver Arena. Carlson the miss. Geyer rebounding and shooting it in. And a quick timeout called by Peoria Christian.
And I believe that's it as far as timeouts go.
That is it. So Fred Fox has called his final timeout. We've got a little piece of video to show you from the, well, I'm sorry, we've got a graphic to show you about the All-State team. This is the Class A first team All-State Frank Clair, who you'll see in the championship game from Chicago Leo. David Ross of Hampshire, Devin Bowwinkle of Winnebago. He'll be in that state championship game tonight. Jordan Delp of Mount Carroll, Matt Bryan of Pleasant Plains, and Isaiah Johnson of Rock Falls, a senior on that All-State team. They were honored here at halftime tonight in this 3rd place game. Michael Lavender from Peoria Christian, Josh Simpson of Downs Tri-Valley, Matt Koster of Lewiston, Massac County's Jaron Rogers, Ray Nelson of Century, and Adam Beanie from Bree Central. All first-team All-Staters, all receiving their plaques today at halftime of this 3rd place game. And along those lines, I do want to say something that we both noticed. Peoria Christian at halftime, the team was heading towards the locker room, then realized that Michael Lavender was going to be picking up his All-State award. Every one of the players stood out here and waited for Michael Lavender to rejoin the team as he got his plaque for being an All-Stater. And in the post-game news conference after the state semifinal earlier today, Fred Fox brought every one of his players. Typically what happens is the coach is asked to come down to the press room and bring 2 or 3 of his star players. He decided to bring every single one of his players, so the entire team was standing in the press room, and it just goes to show you kind of the unity of what Class A basketball is all about.
All for one, one for all, and that really meant a lot to me to see both of those.
2 remaining timeouts for the Raiders, but Peoria Christian is down to nothing as far as their timeouts are concerned. Ball is out of bounds, and Notre Dame will have it under the basket.
The last 2 minutes of the career for many of these players, a lot of these guys will not go out and play college basketball, so outstanding seasons for both teams.
And this has been an entertaining 3rd place game. Sometimes the fatigue factor is too big a hurdle to overcome for both teams in the 3rd place contest, but that has not been the case tonight. We've seen excellent basketball here. And a reach-in foul that time is going to be on Scott Lawson. More free throws.
Excuse me, Kurt, as you mentioned earlier, too, everything's 2 shots from this point on, so the pressure goes off the first free throw.
Well, Quincy Notre Dame from the foul line here tonight, 13 of 21. Now, again, they're a 61% free throw shooting team. But for the most part tonight, they've done all right at the foul line.
This Baki is just a bulldog, isn't he? He's just a tough, aggressive, gritty type player.
Baki splits the free throws, and Nate Reynolds is going to come back in the basketball game, and let's see, he sends Lawson to the bench.
As you notice, too, Griggs hasn't been in since that knee injury. I think he may be done also.
A lot of bangs and bruises and bumps and cuts and scrapes on both these teams after the efforts that they've put forth all season long. Nate Reynolds for 3. Boy, is he really giving Peoria Christian a nice lift off the bench on a quick foul. Off the bench now, Nate Reynolds with 15. That's a career high.
Well, he'll be one of the leaders next year on this Charger team, and he's stepping forward right now in the 3rd place game, announcing his presence.
Well, he's played very well off Fred Fox's bench. And back to the free throw line. This time it's TJ Kister. He had a season-high 12 points against Pana yesterday in the state quarterfinal game. And as we mentioned earlier, a terrific baseball prospect, a pitcher and an outfielder.
Through that upper body strength,
yeah,
too.
I agree. He spent a little time in the weight room, no doubt about it. He split the free throws. And so every time you miss one of those free throws, the door is still open for Peoria Christian. Brandon Carlson Thought about the three. Now it's going to be Reynolds for three. He missed it. High up to get the rebound is Turwell. Minute 15 and counting. Jay Hawkins, the foul in the backcourt.
You know, one thing, it's a minor point, but he wasn't going to leave it short. You know, Reynolds gave it everything he had, and it hit off the back iron.
And now it's Bakke who's going to walk back to the other end of the floor and shoot his foul shots.
This Hawkins kid, too, Jay Hawkins, still exhorting his teammates right now with a minute and 13 seconds to go. Outstanding leader for this team.
No question about it. He has started since the first game of his freshman year, and Peoria Christian's record in games in which he is the starting point guard, 87 and 27.
And it's probably no coincidence that that's the record. This kid is just an outstanding leader.
And Bakke is certainly one of the leaders for Quincy Notre Dame, and he cashes in at the foul line. That's big free throw shooting. It's a 10-point game now with 1:10 and counting left. Hawkins, three. It's a 7-point game now. And Turwell is fouled in the backcourt. I believe it'll be on Brandon Carlson.
Leading free throw shooter.
Be on Reynolds.
Excuse me, leading free throw shooter on the Notre Dame team, but that's all that Peoria Christian can do, Kurt. You've mentioned several times they've got to put them on the line. Maybe trade 2 points for 3.
Well, this Quincy Notre Dame team is making its first trip to state since a third-place performance in the 1999 season. And Turwell's older brother Nathan was best friends with a handful of players on that team in '99. Brian McNeil, Chris Fitch, Scott Ireland, all those guys were hanging out at the Turwell household. So he got a chance to know those guys. And he was just amazed at what it was like to come to state back in '99. He was in 7th grade at the time, and now he's playing at state.
And I'm sure there's some 7th graders in the stands today that are going to be playing on this floor in 5 years.
And he's been a great example. How about Jay Hawkins all the way down and scooping it in? And now Bakke trying to get the ball in bounds, but Peoria Christian's pressure forces Notre Dame to call timeout. 49.8 seconds to go here. There's still no quit in the Chargers. They're out of timeouts, and so they're trying to take advantage of the Quincy Notre Dame timeout. Now, if you're a coach here, Roger, what are you doing for QND? You've got a 7-point lead. There's 49.8 seconds to go, and you've got a relentless pressure coming at you from Peoria Christian.
Critical thing right now, Kurt, you got to let your team know you still have 1 timeout left. You're going to try to get the ball in bounds first, obviously, and then you're going to try to send a man deep. We're going to listen to Coach Douglas.
Well, let's listen to what Scott Douglas is telling his team.
Here, Joe, you're in here. Okay, Johnny, you're here. Johnny, you're going to go away.
So be careful.
Be careful. Don't let him get a flop on you. And then, Thurston, you're going to come around. Okay? Fast, you got to fly, but again, watch the flop. Don't let him get behind you. Then, Joe, you're going to come to the ball. Ideally, we're going to go careful to flop. Avoid the contact. They're going to foul you. They got to foul you. That's all they can do right now. They got to foul you. All right? So be strong with the ball. Be strong with the ball. Step up and make your free throws.
Hey, play some deep.
By then.
Well, it's like we were inside the Quincy Notre Dame huddle there. They were saying, they've got to foul you, they've got to foul you. And it appears that Scott Douglas is trying to get the ball in the hands of Turwell.
What he meant by being strong with the ball, too, is, you know, watch out for those hands from Peoria Christian. Don't let them knock it away from you. And he did talk about getting the ball in bounds and looking deep first. If the deep pass is not there, they're going to run a man back.
Quincy Notre Dame 80, Peoria Christian 73. 49.8 seconds left here in this third-place game. An immediate foul. The ball went inbounds to Turstrip, and he was fouled right in front of the Peoria Christian bench. So Turstrip's going to walk down to shoot free throws, and he shoots it at 68%.
And right now, Peoria Christian can't afford to trade 2 for 3. They're going to have to hope that he misses a couple here.
Brandon Carlson is given that foul, and that's just his first foul. It's amazing that he's played this part of the game this long into the game and just finally whistled for his first foul. Now Turstrip to the line. Scored 7 points in the semifinal loss to Chicago Leo earlier today. Calmly knocked that first one down.
Boy, that's ice water there.
Nate Reynolds is going to try to re-enter the game if they can get it to him. He does. He comes in. Scott Lawson leaves.
One thing you can look at, especially again if you're a young fan watching, just do the same thing every time when you shoot free throws. If you watch Turstrip right here, he bounces the ball 3 times. He'll spin the ball. There it goes. Same every time.
It's really as much mental as it is physical, isn't it?
Yeah, the basket doesn't move, and there's no wind to take advantage of it. It's, you know, It's just a mental thing, like you said.
And he knocks down both those free throws. 82-73 now. 45 seconds of counting. Brandon Carlson missed the three. Reynolds with the save, but it's Bakke that gets that loose ball, and he's fouled by Michael Lavender.
I think Notre Dame's got all the points they need now, Kurt. 9-point lead with 38 seconds. So if they just take care of the ball, they've come out and got that QD3, and that'll be in their trophy case.
Michael Lavender has picked up his 4th foul now. And it's Bakke to the free throw line. 56% foul shooter, but an incredible competitor. And that one rolls in.
You can't be good without a good point guard, and both number 4s on these teams prove that point. Hawkins and Bakke.
Both kind of cut from that same mold as far as competitive nature is concerned. Bakke makes both those free throws. 11-point lead now for the Raiders. Hawkins gives it up. Carlson still shooting the three. Front of the iron, no good. Bakke the rebound. Well, we mentioned that Bakke at 5'10" has a knack for getting rebounds. He has 20 points and 9 rebounds tonight.
Incredible, incredible. And as you said, you know, he has 2 assists to go to boot with that. So steps the line, could make it 22.
And he's flirting with a double-double here if he can pick up one more rebound in this final half minute. Now Quincy Notre Dame with a 3rd-place trophy in 1999. And a couple of 4th-place trophies in 1957 and 1974, and they're a half a minute away from adding another 3rd-place trophy to their mantle.
And even though they're only sending in 2 players, they're emptying their bench.
And now Brandon Carlson and Michael Lavender are heading to the Peoria Christian bench. Those seniors get a nice round of applause as well.
Well, it's been an entertaining game, hasn't it, Kurt?
No doubt about it. Scott Douglas is going to try to go to his bench as well, it looks like. Under a half minute to go here in the 3rd-place game. Geyer forced up a shot, tried to draw some contact. Ball's on the floor, and it's Fessler who's fouled. And Fessler, who was limited to just 16 minutes in today's first game, the semifinal game, because of foul trouble, is going to go to the free throw line. It looks like he's going to make it the distance here in this game. Quincy Notre Dame, with its 30th victory, would tie a school record for most wins in a season, tying that 1957 club coached by Gene Rundy. That team was 30-4. This team will be 30-4.
And only 2 teams end the season with a victory, and Notre Dame's one of them. And here comes Griggs back in for the last 19 seconds, playing basically on 1.5 legs. And here comes Hawkins coming out.
And Turstrip and Turwelp go to the Quincy Notre Dame bench, and they get high fives all over the place. There you see Jay Hawkins to the Peoria Christian bench. The seniors are coming out. Johnny Bakke, number 4, gets a nice big hug there from Scott Douglas. His prep basketball career is over. Hugs and high fives all around on both benches, and certainly Notre Dame feels good about its victory tonight in the 3rd-place game.
You know, coach-player relationship, player-player relationship, you don't understand it unless you've been there, and it's just a special bond that you spend so much time together, 4 months in the regular season, all summer together. It's a family.
Ryan Fessler now on the Quincy Notre Dame bench. Final 10 seconds of the Class A boys basketball season for these 2 squads. Don't forget, the championship game comes up next. And the horn goes off here at Carver Arena. Quincy Notre Dame 87, Peoria Christian 73. The Raiders, for the 2nd time in 5 years, are the 3rd-place winners in Class A boys basketball in the state of Illinois. Both sides shaking hands. A hard-fought game. A well-played 3rd-place game, Roger.
It really was. And it's interesting to see Coach Douglas there patting those Peoria Christian kids on the head, because he knew he beat a good team today. And Notre Dame is an outstanding team. Well coached by that man right there, believe me.
I think we've seen 2 well-coached squads, both drumming up everything they had left in the gas tank for this 3rd-place game. Both these teams lost semifinal games earlier today, and they both just really gutted this one out. And it's an 87-73 Quincy Notre Dame victory. And Lee Hall is standing by with our 3rd-place winners, the Raiders of Quincy Notre Dame.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Scott Douglas is here, Coach. 3rd in 99, 3rd again tonight. Your kids showed a lot of heart out there.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I thought our guys were great. They battled. I thought the Peoria Christian kids were unbelievable as well. And they watched them play many times this year, and they have a never say die attitude always, and they showed it again tonight, and they got a lot of heart. I'm proud of our guys. It was a great win.
Yeah, the Chargers never quit coming at you, and your kids answered the bell.
They did, and again, I just couldn't be more proud of this group of seniors. They were terrific players, and an unbelievable way to end it.
Pretty emotional for you there when you were bringing out your seniors.
It is. I mean, this is a great group of guys. They're great kids, and they work awfully hard, and they've done so much to put themselves in a position where they can be in this game and be in this tournament, and I'm just so happy for them that they had this chance.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, our player of the game is our country insurance player of the game is Johnny Bakke, 20 points on the night. Boy, that Peoria Christian team just kept coming at you guys. Looked like you had them kind of down there in the third quarter, and maybe the game was over, but they kept coming back. You guys had to call on more reserve, but yet you pulled it out.
Mainly, we have 5 subs that come in. I think we just got them tired towards the end, and we took advantage of that. And finally, we started hitting free throws and shots, which is a good thing, though.
Tell me about this bunch. You guys have played together forever since you're in 5th or 6th grade. Tell me about the bond between you guys and how much this win means for you tonight. It's not the state championship trophy, but it's a pretty nice trophy, and you win your last game of your career.
Yeah, we've all been playing together since 5th grade. We all know what we're going to do on the floor. It's happy to win third. It's a great accomplishment for us.
All right, congratulations to you. You're our country insurance player of the game.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Go have fun with your teammates. Thanks for joining us. All right, Kurt, back to you.
Thank you, Lee. 87-73. Quincy Notre Dame, a winner here in the third place game. Kurt Pegler and Roger Lowe with you. Let's take a look at the Apt Electronics play of the game. And Quincy Notre Dame had more of those play of the games than did Peoria Christian.
There's Bakke right there. In that interview, it looked like he could play another game, Kurt. This kid was an outstanding player, and he deserved the player of the game.
21 points and 9 rebounds for Johnny Bakke out of the 5'10 senior guard. He really made a nice impression in his final prep basketball game.
He sure did, and I really appreciated the thoughts of Coach Douglas, because you could see the emotion in his voice, you could hear the emotion in his voice. He loves these kids, and it's a big loss for Quincy Notre Dame to lose such a group of seniors as it is for Peoria Christian.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
Well, you're the best, and I appreciate it also. I've had a blast.
We've had a good time. Quincy Notre Dame, your third place winner. Stay tuned. The state championship game coming up next. Winnebago and Chicago Leo. The final again for third place. Quincy Notre Dame 87, Peoria Notre Dame 73. Back with more from Peoria after this local break.